Hey, Serge.
Hey, Anna.
Randocast time.
Hey, so we've watched episode 3 of The Pretender,
It's called Flyer.
in which he helps a woman get her husband's pension back. Yeah, and he learns how to fly fighter jets, which is really impressive. I think, this is the most impressive task he's done so far, I think. Right? What do you think?
Well, the first episode, he was a doctor.
Right.
Second episode, he was Coast Guard.
Yeah, so I think, if you look at it, there's a lot more doctors than there are fighter jet pilots out there. So one is a far more rarefied, stratospheric sort of achievement, you might say.
Har.
Yeah.
Har.
So basically, we're talking about this government contractor that is cheating the government by creating a subpar product and covering up its flaws. Wow. What a horrible thing to do. And of course, it also, part of the cover-up involved a murder. And, that's what brings Jarod in. This guy is here to avenge wrongful death that leads to the sadness of children.
The guy wasn't murdered. He died because the chip malfunctioned. But the problem was that they had lied about how he died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, the kid's sad. The little kid's sad. The wife is sad. This is what triggers Jarod. This guy springs into action as soon as, the helpless are being trodden upon.
Well, that's one of the opening things where you hear in the opening credits, one of Miss Parker's things is he helps the weak and abused. And that's basically so. Maybe it's not the opening for season 1. Maybe they bring it in season 2. But that's one of those things like, as a pretender, he wants to... I guess I don't want to spoil it for you, but yeah.
Yeah, stop spoiling. Anyway, so he finds out a little bit more about his father through those recovered film archives. Now,
DSAs.
Right, so these are really cool because you actually have a complete record of the visual light field because you're actually able to zoom in and out and change focus. So, like, the camera is normally focused on Jarod, but because this is apparently like a total light field capture sensor, which is pretty far out, I didn't know they had that technology back then, you can actually change the focal plane and zoom in and refocus on this mysterious cigarette smoking man, which...
Mr. Raines.
Yeah, but if you've watched the X-Files, this character is familiar to you. He's clearly taking after the cigarette smoking man in the X-Files.
I wouldn't say that. The show does have a mythos type thing like the X-Files, but I wouldn't say he's like CSM.
Yeah, but you know what? In this introductory period of the show, the things that really stand out to me, having watched most of the X-Files and having just started out watching this show, is that A, he smokes cigarettes, B, it has negatively impacted his health, and C, he knows something about the main character's father that the main character doesn't know. Oh, those things are like all major character traits of the cigarette smoking man and this guy as well.
Well, what's interesting of having seen this show is watching these character introductions again, because when Jarod first sees Mr. Raines and Sydney and Miss Parker first have their little things with him, they make it seem like he's such a mysterious figure that they don't really see that much. But in later seasons, you see through DSAs how frequently they interacted. And they sort of retcon these earlier statements, and it's just hilarious. And the DSAs are also funny because, no. It's just, as you go on later, they're so beautifully filmed, and they sort of follow all the characters around at specific times, and they're giving specific lines, and it's just hilarious.
Right. It's like a weird, like, a retro narration type of deal. It's, it's a plot device, but I gotta tell you, as somebody who's watched the X-Files a lot and is coming into the show fresh, this first initial introduction is very cigarette smoking man. And later on, they might deviate from that characterization and go into some crazy cockamamie thing, as you keep hinting. But for now, I gotta tell you, that's my impression. This episode, I gotta say, is again, it's not as bad as the first episode, where, as somebody said, I thought the show had stolen my girlfriend, but it's also, not as positive impression as I got from the second episode. Still pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you have any issues with this episode? Like, what?
I thought the minor characters were not as well developed. But I did enjoy the crazy man that was the landlord, I guess, or the nearby neighbor. But yeah, that's basically it. I do enjoy the minor characters.
When you say minor characters, do you mean the people that Jarod comes across, or do you also include the people from the center?
No, not the people from the center are recurring characters. Minor characters are like episodic, whatever.
I was just curious.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well, anyway, do you have anything to add?
Oh, Jake Lloyd is in this.
Oh, right. You know, it all makes sense. His dad was a fighter pilot. So then later...
Maybe Vader. But right now, just a small fry.
That's right, yeah. And it turns out that Jarod teaches him how to make paper airplanes. And later on, he goes on to build C-3PO. So, wow. Big connection there.
Jake Lloyd does come back to play another recurring character.
Interesting. So. Well, that was our third Pretender Retreat, and I guess we're going to keep watching this show. This is going to become a recurring Randocast.
So if you like The Pretender, be really happy, and if you could care less, just stay tuned for other things that we'll Randocast about.
Yeah, and to the YouTuber that commented on our first Pretender Randocast, I'm sorry if I came off a little bit immature. The thing is with these Randocasts is I'm just posting my gut reaction, and that's how I felt at that moment.
Well, you're also not a TV show watcher for the most part.
That's true, so my standards are a little different.
That's true. He doesn't even like shows like Black Mirror.
Yeah, well...
I mean, you're an X-Files fan, and you kind of... Well, you've never seen The Outer Limits, right? Or Twilight Zone.
No. I fear that we're digressing here. See you later, guys.